Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Wednesday. It's the other Wednesday, mid by Wednesday, which means that there's actually interesting patch notes and a lot of stuff to update you on. Now, you've probably already watched, depending on when I put this out, you've already watched the Edda video and the Kawana video, which if you haven't, you should watch those after this. But patch notes. So we're getting the next part of Lufundos, which is, somebody pointed out earlier, sounds like a kid's cereal. Lufundos. Why would you name your country that? But anyways, we go to the north part of it. We're also getting this really cute chick that was in, I forget what part, but I want her as a playable character. Why don't we have her as a playable character? So for those of you who just skip through all of the story, you're probably not even here yet because you probably haven't played any of the story on chapter 3 because you probably just don't care. You're like, what is this story? You mean farming wyvern? And complaining on Facebook about collabs? Huh, that's weird. I don't even know what the story is. But anyways, you are going to be able to go through this. You're going to get the AP exchange. You're going to be able to get a Destro level 80 piece of gear. There's going to be all of that stuff. Eventually, you can get this effectiveness off of here because chances are you don't care about this. With something that we'll talk about here in a minute. That's right, equipment substat change update. This is actually going to be coming out this week. Now, there are already people who are kind of complaining about this. They're like, I can't do rank 3 expedition. I don't have any friends. Make it easier for me to get. And they talked this morning on the live stream about that. They said that for the moment, you're going to get it from level 2 and level 3. Now they might change that in the future. I'm sure they probably will. But yeah, and I'm sure that people complain about this part as well. The modification cost. That's right. Depending on the grade of the thing that you're using, you have to pay 100 or 80k gold, which at this point, I'm like, I already plus 15 my piece of gear. Let me just re-roll this stat. 100k is pretty steep for the greater modification. I can definitely see people complaining about this, but I also feel like at a certain point, modifying your gear and like really optimizing min-maxing is kind of like a whale level of, or very established end game player. But at the same time, let me just modify this for free. I think that having this gold cost in here is kind of poop. Because you already put in the time, you already put in the effort, you put in the gold, you put in the XP to get to plus 15. Just let us modify this. That's my take on it as somebody with a ton of gold, right? I still think that that's kind of dumb. That's bad. Whatever. With that said, so you're gonna go to inventory, equipment, and then tap modify. Okay, so it'll be plus 15 stuff. This piece of gear, I don't know why they're trying to modify this. Like, why did you plus 15 this in the first place? I guess this is okay. 9 speed, 20. This low rolled actually. These rolls are pretty doo-doo. Don't plus 15 something like this, I guess. Anyways, use modification materials matching the set you're currently modifying. When modifying a substat, estimated values of the new substats will be displayed based on the number of enhancements made to the original substat and the grade of the material being used. Now, they're showing you the greater modification. There's lesser and then there's greater. So the way it'll most likely work out is that if you're using a lesser, it's going to be low rolls, and then greater is going to be mid rolls. As you can see here, for some reason this person is taking speed off of this. I'd say 9 is most likely 3 rolls into speed. Probably even if you started at 4, 5, 6, 7, there's no way that this person dual rolled into speed and got +9, because that would be 5 + 4. It is almost 7 in the morning, so math is working out real well for me, at least a little bit. So you're going to be getting a low roll here into HP. Again, I don't know why you would use this as an example, but as you can see here, not only did they get garbage rolls on the initial piece of gear, but they even got bad rolls when they modified it, because your range was 322 to 422 and you got 326. If you want to demoralize your player base, this is it. You could have gotten up to mid rolls on flat health, and you didn't. Not only did you +15 this mediocre piece of gear, but you got garbage rolls on your modification. Feels bad, sucks to suck. Go run off to Facebook and talk to them about it. But as you can see too, not only did you +15 an attack set that went into health here, that HP is only 2 enhanced if normal. Your normal rolls above 400. Okay, Mr. Popo, that guy rolled amazing then. Like, if you dual rolled a speed, that's 5 and then 4. Yeah. Feels oofs, man. But anyways, one of the things that kind of bugs, like, it gets me about this, and I think that this is just going to add more stuff in general, right, is the fact that you have to have the same set and then substat. So the other thing too is, and we're going to read, I'm sure that it probably might tell me here in a minute, but like, if you can get a tax set from doing the Wyvern expedition, that is going to suck. Not only that, but it's going to be much like your pieces of gear for your not Reforged, but the Alchemist Steeple. When you're crafting gear, you're going to have just a ton of effect resist, right? And you're going to be like, what do I use these for? I need an attack main stat for the ring or my neck or my boots, and you're going to get nothing but effect resist. So maybe before you get a speed, you'll get 150 speed effect resist. Which, I mean, I guess if you're building high ER Ray or Kitty Clarissa, that'll be great. You can get rid of offensive stats for effect, like a mid to low roll effect resist. But at the same time, that's going to be just another level of RNG. And one of the things we were talking about is, yes, you can use the lesser modification stones and then use the greater later on when you get one, but again, it's also another level of RNG, right? If we go back up here to the greater stone, you have that range of 322 to 422, which is kind of feels bad, right? If you're paying 100k to reforge this over and over and over again, not only do you need the stones, which most people, after they're done with their depot, they just are done with expeditions, right? So you're going to have to just continue to grind. You're going to be doing hunts. You're going to continue to grind. You're going to have to do Expedition 3 if you want the greater stones, which is going to be it kind of feels bad, because here's the other thing too: acquiring the modification materials. Expedition 2, lesser modification gem. Expedition 3, one of lesser or greater modification gems. Now, if you got like both, like let's say you had an option to get a chance to get both, that way you could at least like grind out your overall RNG a little bit better. That would be better. Now, they do state that more areas where these materials can be attained will be added in later updates, meaning that you'll probably be able to buy them from the guild shop, or you'll be able to buy them with silver transmit stones, stuff like that. I think on the stream they mentioned like side stories, stuff along those lines. So we'll see. I feel like early on, right, there's going to be the big rush. There's especially amongst whales, people going for the top of RTA for the tournaments, stuff like that, which March will be my next main tournament. All of the VODs from last weekend's tournament will be up this week, so if you didn't get a chance to watch it live, you'll be able to see the VODs. But with that said, a lot of people are going to be rushing this real early, and I feel like the RNG of getting these things is going to be very detrimental, especially if you're not a whale, if you're not a big spender. This is going to be one of those things where it's like, this is up here and it's nice, it's great, thanks for putting that in there, but doesn't really do much for me. So there is that, right? When modifying a substat value but keeping the same type of substat, the higher value between the previous value and the new value will be applied. When a substat such as critical hit chance is modified into health at 10%, health 10%, and the player modifies it once again using the same material that he was using, and it becomes 9, the substat will remain at 10. So that's good, right? So if you do high roll and you try to max more, you at least won't go backwards. Oh God, could you imagine if you went backwards? I would super rage. I would super rage on that one. But modification materials that you currently own can be found under the Modification Materials tab in the equipment window for fully enhanced equipment. Okay. All modification materials you currently own can be found under enhancement materials as well. Okay. Substat modification will be added in the help guide. Cool. And we'll get a tutorial. Fantastic. So there you go. That will be live today. So they're, well, after the patch, right? Arena Skyward season comes out. For those of you who care about Arena, I don't know that I have done an Arena match against another human being in 3 months, give or take. I don't think. I just chill and champion. RTA is sweaty enough for me. So there is that. But Endurance Crest reward. When the Skyward season begins, unused Endurance Crests obtained from the Ardor season will automatically be converted to Conquest points, 5 to 1. So there you go. You get that. Here's the frames. Now, frame number, the top frame actually isn't too bad. That's a pretty nice looking frame, actually. But I will never be top 3 in Arena, so I don't have to worry about that. Hall of Fame season ranking. Oh, that was for last season. That was the Ardent. This is for Skyward. Skyward frame looks pretty good. Way better than the RTA frame from this season, that's for sure. Looks pretty cool. Gonna get another part of the Arena story. For those of you who are very interested in the Arena story, I know most people will just click skip or didn't even know that the Arena had a story, don't know anything about the monolith or anything along those lines. We're getting crit set this time around, and much like the previous seasons, some of the stat distributions a little on the questionable side, right? Not only do you start off with some of them obviously not at optimal health, attack at 6 is a mid-roll, but from what I understand, you will be able to swap out some of the stats with your stones. So on the sword, you can get rid of the effect resist. On the chest piece, get rid of the effect resist. The helmet, actually really, really solid. Boots, get rid of the effect resist. The necklace, get rid of the effect resist. But the ring is absolutely poggers, dude. That is an amazing ring. All of the stats there, very, very solid. I would actually suggest that that would probably be your first piece of gear to get. Just from a very base standpoint, the helmet and the ring, very, very solid. But again, if you can use the stones to get rid of some of the effect resist on some of these pieces, these would end up being pretty solid DPS gear for sure. So there is that. So going to be getting the next part of the 7 Sweethearts story. Moving on to the second round. After reaching rank 9. I hope you guys are rank 9. But we're going to have rounds 1 through 3. And then 4 through 6 is this week. We get the Assyria and the Wanda route. I like that. I like Wanda. And we don't know who the new route is for the last one. That'll be rounds 7 and 8 on week 3. So we will be getting 2 more weeks of this and going from there. How are you guys liking the story? I personally feel like there's a lot of... I don't necessarily like going back and doing the same stuff over and over again for different routes. There's also the good and the bad ending. It feels kind of like I'm somewhat wasting my time, and the second time that I go through it, all I want to do is just hit skip and get to the points where I already got, like, I want to just burn past the parts that I already did, and that's not super fun for me, I guess. I don't know. But that's just me. Now, Alexa's same artifacts are going to be your rate ups. We're going to have the chocolate, which is going to be Alexa's basket. Violet's talisman really doesn't do anything for you here because we're going to be getting chocolate this time around. So there is that. And now you get to go through everything yet again, but you have a couple of other different options, right? External Affairs Club. Also, I kind of wish that it would like show you what you've already done, I guess. Like, what if you accidentally click on something that takes you to the same exact route, I guess. Like, hey, you don't want to click on this because it's going to just take you to the same stuff that you've already done. So we are going to get the Goblin Challenge, the Gold Challenge. We're going to get the exchange so you can get your next copy of Lucy. You can get Temperance, Black Curse Powder. I think I need that. But this is the big stuff right here. Not Ray, but Doctor's Bag. I know everybody out there is like, bro, I have not pulled Doctor's Bag yet, and there are few artifacts in the game that I need in my life more than Doctor's Bag. I'm completely not being serious at all. I want a Doctor's Bag buff. Doctor's Bag kind of doo-doo. You also have Chloe and a Little Queen's Huge Crown. There is that. But with Guilty Gear coming back, oh, I didn't talk about that. We'll talk about that here in a second. With a collab coming up, and then a collab afterwards, Most people are gonna skip this. Ray, though, very, very good. If you're having problems with like the F10 stuff like that, Ray, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Yes, chat says foreshadow Doctor's Bag buff on Friday, which we're going to be getting the dev notes and the buffs on Friday. Ray, Chloe, Doctor's Bag, Little Queen's Huge Crown, probably all going to be slated for buffs, actually, and Ravi. Designer Wilbet's going to be out tonight. I will be rolling for Designer Wilbet just because she fits my playstyle. In general, really, really like that. Guild Wars is ending Friday, so make sure you guys are good. I think I need three people, 2 people for Guild Wars. If you want to be like top 50, I think we have some spots. Join Discord and talk to Paychecks and Snow about that. So improvements in expeditions. So they have made the level 3 a bit easier. So effectiveness, effect resist stats, 100%. They're going to go from 12 to 7 turns. And they're nerfing the health from 2.3 million to 1.8 million. Now, does this... They're going to have to change something in the future for some of the Dagger Sakar stuff. But Hopeless Samaquas, reducing defense and attack, and Blooming Lich is reducing attack and defense as well. So this should make Expedition level 3 a bit easier because, well, you're going to need to do Expedition 3 for greater modification gem, and if you can't do at least some damage on Expedition 3, all of your friends are going to leave you. They mention under other, okay. Adjustments will be made so that the game displays adjustments made in the required score for the Expedition section, Dagger Sakar. Right, so we're going to have to see what they do. Thank you, Careless. But you do get less time to do damage as well, yeah. So I'm sure that they'll adjust it so that it is more reasonable, right? Because 5 turns, yeah. So we'll see how they change that stuff, and what those numbers are. Maybe it'll make Dagger Sakar easier to get, and then everybody can spam the Dagger Sakar emotes at you. We're also getting Landy Flan and a Meru Japanese media updates, which I know a lot of people don't like a Meru's voice. Not the biggest fan. Some people didn't like the Respecting the Great Landy. Now you get to hear it in Weeb Speak, which is always a very solid option. Other improvements and adjustments, prologue improvements. We got some illustrations. Volume for the video is going to be improved. Those are really good. I know that a lot of people in the chat are very, very invested in the story. They definitely do not just hit the skip buttons, so I know that this is probably one of the biggest things that you guys have been asking for. So don't worry, they were listening. UI improvement inventory. Oh, we're going to be getting like 50 more inventory spots. Awesome. The top tab will be changed to icons because reasons, I guess. Because you can't... Hold on. What is it now? Equipment. I guess it's for people who can't read. But anyways, we like to be all inclusive here. But so you're gonna be able to do that. Equipment management. Now I like this right here. Improvements will be made in the equipment management screen so that it provides practical filters to sort substats. When two different selections are made, main stat filter 1 and substat filter 1, a selected substat could not be selected in substat filter 2. Okay. So you had to undo one and then change it to the other one. That was kind of annoying. Because if you're like, oh, I want to sort by crit and speed, and then you're like, okay, well, let me sort by speed and crit, extra clicks. Ain't nobody got time for that. So that's a good change. This is really cool as well. I like this change where you can see equipment details. This is really, really interesting. So like you'll actually be able to see, so instead of just clicking on one and like every time, like when I'm foddering units, like when I'm foddering gear to like level stuff up, I don't have to click on every one and see if this is like some random 4-speed piece I'm going to fish later. I can just zoom through everything a lot faster. So that's actually a really good quality of life change right there. Heroes and artifacts, dual swords, additional effects. When 5-star Charlotte's buffed, inflicted with the seal effect in World Arena. An issue where dual swords additional effect did not take effect properly. Oh, okay, so if she... Okay, because technically it's not a passive, it's an extra effect, so she shouldn't have been sealed. Gotcha. It's kind of like Sage Ball. If you seal him, it doesn't stop him because it's not technically a passive. An issue where notifications were not displayed on the skin icon screen. Okay. Adjustments will be made in the 5-star Arc Demon Shadows content in the Japanese media pack so that it has a similar volume to other heroes. Okay. Other. An issue where the notification was not displayed. An issue where reconnect button. We all know that the reconnect button is important because we get connection issues all the time. Back button issue. Cost removing equipment was shown as 0 gold when entering the Heroes detail screen. While a 24-hour buff was active, an attempt to unequip equipment after the buff has expired will be fixed. Okay, interesting. Remove sets from substat change. I agree. Thank you for ER on that DPS gear. It's so great you listen to the players. Love it. I agree. But yeah, ER has been on like every set. And they will also set the RNG so the ER upgrades most of the time. That's 100% true. But I do agree with the substat change not having the sets. I think that it'll be hard enough to get what you want. But yeah, I think that's probably going to end up being how it is. And like I said, if I get attack or like defense or ER set like from a random bosses, I'm gonna be a little on the tilted side. But the best news, and the thing that I know so many people are excited about, otherworldly visitors are back again. Now, I frequent a lot of social media, right? I've seen people talking about the collab for literally since the last Guilty Gear, and people saying, oh man, I want Demon Slayer, I want Jujutsu Kaisen, I want Boku no Pico collab. Everybody and their mom wants anything other than Guilty Gear. So the amount of molding that is going to happen for the next handful of days is going to be delicious. I'm going to have my tea, and I am going to just sit here and just sip as people absolutely lose their collective minds over the fact that, well, they'll probably have 2 weeks where they can't roll on units, but people who don't have Dizzy or Misconfile or Biken or Elfelt will also have an option to get those back. Also, most likely we'll have the triple limited banner like we did with the previous one. I just hope Elfelt gets a rework buff along with it. I would like that too, actually. I think that she's okay with the rage set. I use her every so often, but I mean, I wouldn't be against it. That's actually what we'll probably get Friday. They'll be like, hey, we are going to buff all of the Guilty Gear characters. All I'll say is that I see people complaining about GG being rerun. I better not see you farming up for portrait copies. Exactly. I don't want to hear anybody, complaining about GG and then also farming portrait. Like, you just can't. They're not allowed. Zero. With that said, let's see what we have down here. It seems my prediction was right. A year ago was right. It's a 10-year Guilty Gear collab plan. I'm fine with that, actually. Also, if you haven't farmed, portraits, farm up a couple. 3, probably the best. Probably more than you need, actually. Especially with the Guild War artifact being almost a better portrait. But yeah, good for new players. For the rest, we get to save resources and farm the bare freebies we need. Not like most of us need to spend lots of energy farming up multiple portraits anymore, so we can get back to farming hunts faster. I'm not even mad. They said new IP collab won't be ready until June, so sometime during summer. They also said this Guilty Gear rerun would be handled differently, probably another awful group banner. I mean, I personally like the group banner, but hey, it is what it is, man. Yeah, people are still going to be super salty over this, but we are literally going to be getting a new collab. They specifically stated that they're in the works with it. They can't say anything, obviously, because of disclosure, stuff like that. So if you already have all these units, cool, chill, go farm hunts, get your Expedition 3s on. If you're a new player, Dizzy is still meta. Anybody who tries to tell you that Dizzy is not meta probably is in placement, honestly. Why would you be mad about a rerun? Not everyone is playing in the last year. Exactly, that's the other thing too. Just step back a minute. Not everybody has everything, right? Just chill, take a nap. You don't always have to pull for everything that you don't have gear for. Easy life, bros. Easy lives. But it's gonna be great. So many people are gonna be so mad. I mean, look at this. Year 1, Guilty Gear. Year 2, Guilty Gear rerun. Year 3, Guilty Gear rerun again. I wouldn't want Rising of the Shield Hero, honestly. And before Eno comes out this time around, Careless, don't. It's not going to happen. Will the greater substat material give higher stats? It'll give you mid-roll stats. On Stove is literally eternally salty. No matter what they could have put out, they would not have been happy about it. Oh, Torn Sleeve is also really good. Misconfile is really good. Misconfile on Cerise, probably one of the best in slot artifacts. I am super excited about more Misconfiles, honestly. Also, I just kind of dislike collabs in general. But we are going to have maintenance, so make sure you get your Guild Wars in. In the morning, we will have modifiers for Edda and Kawana. So we will have videos up tomorrow on those. If I have Guiding Light on her, should I go for Misconfile? Depends on how you want to use her DS. I personally like Misconfile because if you're using Cerise, chances are you're outspeeding anyways. And Guiding Light is better on Landy and Bryce Saria. So yeah, Do we have anything else? That's right, Doctor's Bag. Doctor's Bag. Do we have any other events? Let me refresh everything here. No. Nope. There were a few other things. Let me check real quick and see if there was anything in general that I missed. New side story for Edda. Violet's skin is coming out. Yeah, I think that covers most of it. Like I said, we'll have balance patch on Friday, so it'll be interesting to see what we end up getting out of that. And I'm gonna go make myself some tea and sit down and just read salty comments all day. Vets probably won't even be able to skip the banner if they bundle new characters into the group banner. I don't think they'll bundle new. They would bundle new characters in. If they put new characters into Guilty Gear on the banner, then that would be pretty rough, right? Yeah, but I'm sure the Guilty Gear collab is contracted to run for April when new Guilty Gear comes out. That is also true as well. Like I said, I wouldn't mind obviously a new Guilty Gear character as long as the banner is separate, and they also have the group one. I don't mind that myself, but let me know what you guys think. How mad are you about the Guilty Gear rerun? I'm just gonna be Chilean, man. I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna kick it, I'm gonna buy my miskin file out of the shop and see what we get, and then just await the other collab information for afterwards. But yeah, miskin files, man, it's real important. Not only that, I think Necro's gonna be really good on Edda, actually, on her S2 and her S3 for faster cycling. But again, if you guys are over on YouTube, subscribe. I'm gonna try to put more videos up soon-ish when I get day job stuff sorted out. But if you like to see these on real time, just wake up at 6 a.m. and come join me on Twitch. I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy, homies. Peace.